All right. Well, welcome to my show. I am very excited for today. I always say that. I mean, anybody who's listening in is always like, you're always excited. And I guess I would say, if you hang out with me for any amount of time, I tend to be that person who has a ton of energy. And usually people are like, how do you get it all done? Anyway, I digress. I'm also excited for today. My guest today comes through a referral, which is awesome. If you are new to the channel or to the page or to the podcast, or wherever you have found me, please take some time, if you love the content that we're putting out here, to like, comment, share, subscribe. Seriously, that is the air high five. It means so much to those of us who are putting out content right now. You have no idea. Would love that. Thank you so much. Okay, my guest today came through a referral. And if any of you know me, and most of you do, that referrals run my life, and I love it. So Kristen and I literally just started talking. You guys know there's always a pre-show, which I need to record. Like Kristen, I need to record the pre-show, because the pre-show is literally where the magic begins to happen. Anyway, I would love Kristen to share her story, because I'm hearing it for the first time, just as are you. And I would love for her to sort of give us her bio. And then I've got a few questions for her, and we'll go from there. So Kristen, the call's yours.
I'm excited to be here. I was referred to you, and I really have loved your energy and your page. So I'm pretty excited to go check out your podcast later.
There's a few, yeah.
So I was diagnosed with alopecia when I was 13. So that's 19 years ago. Yes, I'm aging myself right now.
I was going to say you didn't need to go there, right? No, it's all good.
But yeah, it's okay. It's okay. 30s is where it's at, you really Agree. Try to, start learning about yourself. 20s is having fun, and 30s, I'm ready to do this. So lost my hair back then. My mom reminded me that I didn't want to admit that it was going to be for a long period of time. So I only wanted to wear a bandana. I didn't even want to look at wigs or anything like that, because it was just, no, this isn't happening. I'm not officially losing my hair. I will stay this out until I possibly can't. So lost it, went to the doctor, and it was falling out. So it was patchy, but I could still kind of hide it just based on like hairstyling. So I went to the doctor, and he said to me that I would only lose 30 to 50% of my hair. So no big deal. And I'm like, that's half my head. That is a big deal. I'm 13. I'm in middle school. Are you kidding? And then
I would not go back to 13 or 14 or 15, to be completely 16, things started to get better. By 18, I was like, okay, right? But girlfriend.
I know, right? 13 to 15, not going back.
Yeah. And for anybody who's confused, I will probably put a link to alopecia somewhere here.
It's hair loss.
Yes, basically it's hair loss. Yeah. So, yeah. Go ahead.
Are you going to share the video?
I will share like a video, or I do this, so I remind myself, and then of course, when I'm going back to do editing. And I try not to edit these too much, just so you know, Kristen, I try to keep it really raw. So yeah, we'll put a link somewhere, so somebody's dealing with that or maybe struggling with it. There'll likely be some resources by the end of this.
For sure. And then I also have an Instagram page, and you can follow my journey there if you would like.
There'll be a link right here.
The link down below.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Okay, carry on.
Okay. Anyway, doctor, and he said, we asked, why is this happening? And I'm sitting there with my dad. My mom hadn't come with me at this point. And he's like, well, there's numerous reasons. Your thyroid could be acting up. We'll get you blood tested, and we'll check for that. You could be pregnant. And my jaw drops to the floor at this point, because I'm like 13. My dad's right here. And I'm like, do you actually
think my dad is right here?
Stage? I'm not. So thank you for asking.
Oh my word. Yeah, I actually lost my eyelashes when I was 26 weeks pregnant. So that's when I discovered it. And I know a lot of women really struggle with it. They get to lose the hair or a patch or whatever. So I know exactly what you're talking about. I mean, eyelashes was enough. So I couldn't imagine, losing. I feel like, loving it a little bit right now.
That's right.
13, sitting with dad. Yeah.
And the third reason was all my family members had pooled in all their diseases to me, and it turned to alopecia. So yeah, that's always fun. To this day, I have no idea why I've lost my hair. Thyroid was fine. I've tried many different medical options. So I had shots in my head. I've had probably close to, 10,000 little injections in my scalp. So that's always fun. Not at one sitting, but over the course
I was
of.
gonna say that's like a tattoo on your head. Yeah, I can't.
New.
Yeah.
And then I was on prednisone and Rogaine to try and grow it back after seeing a specialist. None of that worked. The prednisone did work, but it comes with its own lovely side effects.
Yeah, prednisone is not a good time. Yeah.
No, and I suggest that to no one. I ballooned out. I had acne down my face. Picture this, grade 8 picture, bandana, so no hair. And then a line of acne all the way down the middle of my face and braces.
I'm sorry. Like I was like, maybe you're okay. And then braces. No. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I feel like I need to be tagging this, for some of the younger girls, be like, it's okay. It comes, it gets better in the end. Oh my goodness.
It does. It does. It so does. But when you're going through it, and that's why I wanted to start sharing my story, honestly, is for the people who are just starting, because I felt so alone. I mean, I had family support like you wouldn't believe, but they had no idea what this was or how to say anything. Like, I mean, I've had outside family members be like, well, it's just hair. It's not like you have cancer. Oh, okay. That's a whole different, can of worms, but sure.
Yeah.
So I just don't want anybody to feel alone in this struggle that they may be going through. So.
I have this reminds me, I'll have to put a link somewhere here. I have a friend who recently started a little mini podcast, a little mini series on YouTube that's literally called Bad Wisdom, I think, Bad Wisdom. And it's things that people say because they're not thinking. And that definitely sounds like, well, it's not cancer. You know what I mean? Like, let's think about that for a minute. And so, yeah, it's really interesting. People often mean well. That was certainly the experience I went through I've gone through a number of things, sexual assault, this sort of thing. People always said things to me and, to when people are going through something that makes them uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Last year, 2020, blow up 2020, right? I went through a breakup that was incredibly hard, and a number of people that tried to, placate, right? And I realized very quickly they were saying it well-meaning, but really because it makes them uncomfortable to see in a situation that they really understand at their core. I have no idea what it would be like to deal with this, and it makes me uncomfortable. So because I'm uncomfortable, I will say something in a facade attempt, right? A fake way to make you feel comfortable because I'm attempting to make myself comfortable. And I know the most powerful people who helped me heal through that process didn't say anything stupid, right? Or they say something, I'm sorry, or I don't know what you need right now, so I'm just going to sit here with you.
And listen to you.
Exactly. I'll just be in it with you, even though I'm uncomfortable because I don't know what to say to comfort you. And interesting how that is. I'm glad you had at least, family, and not to interrupt your story, but I was just like, wow, those are the things that bring us together, right? When you're like, oh, we have shared experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So 13, you're moving through your teens. What's next?
Well, I will tell about the one story where I did get the rumor spread that I had cancer. I had a bandana, and they had just that year decided that bandanas were associated to gangs, so nobody was allowed to wear them at the school. So I had to get special permission to wear a bandana, and it got pulled off by a kid, and he said, "You're not allowed to wear this." So here I am standing in the middle of the hallway where everybody goes, not just a secret hallway or something. And straggly hair out, bald spots everywhere. And I was just so in shock. And I saw the girls' bathroom was like 10 steps away. So I moved over there. My friends grabbed the bandana from him, came running in, pounded on the door. Kristen, you're better than this. Like, put your bandana back on. Let's put our head up and just go. Right. So thank God for them, because I probably would have been in there for the rest of the day.
Yeah. Or the rest of your life. Right. I'm never coming out.
Still in there. No.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, he ended up apologizing, and I thought it was heartfelt. Turns out it wasn't, because he then spread a rumor about me that I had cancer to the entire school. And that's what you want, more attention drawn
More
to
attention to the thing that you're trying not to have attention on.
you. Yeah, so that was fun.
Yeah.
So much so that I had a counselor actually pull me in. So the teacher gets a phone call as we're all sitting in class, and they're like, Kristen, you need to report to the counselor's office. And I'm like, great, more attention. Thank you. Just what I needed.
I would like the ground to open up and swallow me right now.
Pretty much, right? Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So go to the counselor's office, and they were like, so we've kind of noticed you're losing your hair, and you're wearing a bandana. Is there troubles at home? Are your parents getting divorced? I was like, well, that's news to me if they are. So,
Yep.
do you know something I don't know? So, I mean, everybody makes assumptions. They never ask questions. And I think that's just not okay. Like, ask the person the question first. So
That's not okay. Yeah, it's not okay. No, I agree. I did a post a couple days ago about that, right? That just because, yeah, it happens, it doesn't mean it's okay. Isn't that interesting? Ask more questions.
yeah,
Powerful.
I'm
That's
willing.
really powerful.
I'm
Yeah,
willing to share the information. You just got
yeah,
to ask the question, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Instead of assuming rumors, parents divorced, like, what? None of this is true. Why are we spreading that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, we fast forward to the next grade, I guess, and I started wearing wigs. So my mom took me to a salon, and she paid like a pretty penny for my first wig, and it was human hair. It was supposed to be like all fitted to my head. Yeah, I get it. It was terrible. There was this massive like part so you could actually see the bald through the wig.
No.
I laugh about these things now. And I mean, I wore that sucker with pride. Don't get me wrong. Like, it was on there, and it was my new accessory, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as I kept going, like, you get to high school, you meet different people, you have a different friend group. I had some friends leave me back in middle school. It was a whole ordeal, but whatever. And I get it. Do you really want to be, stuck over here with somebody who's going through a lot?
Unpopular girl.
Yeah.
Typically the girl that gets it sorted and figured out later in life, right?
Sure did.
Gonna say, feels like there might be a story here.
Yeah. But yeah, I just I went on, and I just didn't tell people. So there was like my one core best friend. Her name's Michelle. She stuck it with me, and she's still my best friend to this day.
Yay for the Michelles.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta love them, right? Like, she's been fantastic. And she's helped me through quite a few things. And even I wrote a story the other day about my experience, and she read it, and she's like, I don't even think I grasped just how much you were going through.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy that somebody that was right there with me still didn't grasp exactly what I was going through.
Right. I was going to say, I hope that you are writing about this or sharing about it. And if you're not, this is the part of the program where clearly I'm going to plug the magazine, because I would love to have you share your story with us.
For sure.
The Create the Ripple magazine is really just started to add value, and largely because last year I just felt like I started the podcast. I'd done podcasting bits before. I'd done some collabs and stuff like this. Started doing it because I needed something positive to sort of counteract everything that was coming. I know that's not me, saying don't pay attention to what's going on or being uneducated. I just needed to feel like I needed to add some ballast to the overwhelming amount of onslaught of information. I want to say there is hope. There's some great stories. There's cool things happening. People are thriving and surviving and all this other stuff. I have some of the previous podcasts I'll be posting, and I'll put, some links here to some of those, but those are like businesses who saw the change, realized we were in it, and pivoted quickly, right, to offer great customer service or support their people through it. But one of the reasons why we have an entire section in the magazine for stories, an advertorial, if you want to write about your business, something to add value, share some expertise, but then stories. And people ask me, well, why is that there? And I'm like, because sometimes people need to read something that shifts the mindset. That's all they need today, right? So I would absolutely love it if you would write for one of our upcoming editions
For sure.
of that.
What you want in there.
I do. I want the truth. I mean, the title of the podcast is Trust the Niggle, Tell the Truth. And so talking about things that, certainly this, right? A lot of shame around this view. And as you were talking, I was thinking, you probably didn't know how to talk about what you were going through or deal with the immensity of what you're talking to, and how much of our worth, especially as women, I'm not going to just exclude men, but especially as women, is tied to things like being beautiful, at one point being slim, some of these things that are really shifting and changing now. And we need to start talking about these things. I think you are stunningly beautiful. I'm guessing you're wearing a wig right now.
I sure am, and I will be popping this off.
Okay, I was gonna say, do we get a reveal? Because this sounds like a lot of fun.
I do want to talk about like this wig in particular. So
okay, I'm excited. So, that I think is huge that you're willing to talk about it. Again, my experience with it was very limited, but I do know that there were women who their hair has totally changed since they've had kids, and the challenge of that. I mean, the body shift and change, that's a thing. But again, as you were talking, I was thinking how much of that even your best friend didn't know, because when are we taught to express the intensity of the emotion? Right? Especially as young girls, we experience, this is how we deal with it, right? Ebbs and flows, ups and downs. And we have been so taught, the world has been ingrained that, steady is the way to go. Well, that's the masculine. That's the way it's supposed to be, right? They are forward, back, they are straight, they're level. Like that's what they're supposed to do. I don't mean straight as in gender, but I mean straight. Like that's who they are, right? Corners like this.
Yeah.
Cool. Women, we're just more round, right? We're gentler. I don't know why I'm crying today. That's part of being a woman, right? It gives us this capacity. And as you were talking, I was like, wow, I'm so glad you had people close enough to you. So what was that like then, as you've begun to talk about it and transition? Because this is, of course, 19 years that you've been, and you're just now finding the courage to really talk about this. So go ahead.
What really pinpointed this for me is I was getting a new one of these, and the lady dropped it off, and I kind of asked her a question, and it came up that this 16-year-old girl was just losing her hair. And I don't know why, but that little thought just stuck with me. But she's probably feeling very alone in this. Like there's nobody to talk to. There's, I've met one person in my life besides what I've met in this last month, which is a bit exciting. The Naked Confidence campaign. Oh man, shout out to them, because they're all baldies and their work.
There'll be a link. There'll be a link somewhere here, so you guys can go.
Yeah, because they're amazing. But it just kept sticking with me, and I was just like, you know what? I don't want her to feel alone, and I don't want anybody going through this as a young teenager like I did to feel alone. And I'm sick of it. And you know what? I'm sick of hiding. So let's share my story and hope that we can maybe encourage other people to not care that they look different. Because you know what? Bald is beautiful. And I love myself, but it took me a while to get there. And I don't think that's fair. Like 19 years before I'm willing to actually share it out to the world. When I meet somebody prior to, this, it's never something I bring up. And it's always something that's a secret. That's like, oh, that's mine. I might share it with you. I might not. We'll see. So I just don't want people to feel like that anymore. They should be able to show their true selves and not have 19 years. Because you know what? Being bald has made me who I am today, has given me the confidence, the strength that I have. And honestly, the amount that I'm able to empathize with people is because I've gone through my hair loss.
I was going to say, like, I don't know if our listeners heard it, but I did. Like, there is a do not mess with me girlfriend. Yeah, that exactly right there. And I was thinking about that, right? Because we had talked briefly about, It's the ones that went through, typically tough stuff. And even in business, so I do a lot of working with people, and they'll start, a new venture or a new business or a new, campaign. And the ones that seem to have like the uphill battle from the beginning, they usually do better than the ones that have quick success, because when it gets tough, and it always gets tough, they don't have a point of reference. And I think, well, this doesn't work. It worked for a while, and they quit faster.
Yeah.
And I think that that's true. The people, and it's not to say anything, nothing judgmental, right? If you had an epic high school and you continued to have an epic after high school, but it's been my experience that a lot of people who didn't have an easy high school have gone on to do epic things in their life, because it was such an uphill battle. And I'm a mom first and foremost, and so a lot of times I find myself wanting to protect her, right, from life and from things. And I've been really contemplating this of, well, almost better if she learns it now, or I'm here to attempt to help her understand it, so by the time she's 21, she's there. Like, for example, I was home educated, and I was 21 before I experienced a real level of bullying. Oh, and wow. Yeah, lucky, right? I'm highly introverted. You can't tell now because I'm social, but it's just you and me. We're hanging out, having coffee, talking. Right. So that helps. But, I was in university, and somebody said something it was a bullying comment. And I remember distinctly going, "You're bullying me." And I said it out loud to their face, and they were like that was their, did the way face. And I was like, no. And I like walked away, and I remember thinking, I had the wherewithal to know the wherewithal going on. Yeah. But, no, and I remember thinking, I'm so glad I didn't deal with that when I was 14, because that would have been ridiculous. Anyway, I've often thought about that and wondered, how do you, help those teenagers, right? Men, girls and boys, to transition through that phase. It's such a tough space.
It is a tough thing, but honestly, you live it. You have your support system, like I did with my family. I went home and told my brother that this had happened, and he may have did his own bullying too.
Oh, way to go, big brother. That's right, awesome. Right?
Actually, he's younger than me, so bigger.
Even better. Way to go, brother. Way to go, brother.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. So I was like, he won't be messing with me anymore.
So I 19 years, 19 years, and you're finally talking about this because somebody dropped off a wig to you. This one, the one you're currently wearing?
The one I'm currently wearing.
And you realize that. Now, you said as well that now you're running into other people. So I'm guessing a community. Tell me more about that, because that's
I was looking on Instagram, just following people, and Nicholas, he's a TikTok guy, and he has alopecia, and he does a lot of TikTok videos. So he actually has started the Naked Confidence campaign, and he started a group chat. You actually have to prove that you're bald, because some people have said that they'll shave their head to try and join us. And it's nice of you to want to be us, but no.
It's nice if you want to be us. I'll put a link to him, somewhere here. It sounds like he's up to some good stuff, and we'll have to.
He really is. He's leading the charge, and I'm very grateful and proud of him. So good. Cool. Anyway, they started this, and they started having Zoom meetings, and I was like, well, I want to go on a Zoom meeting. This sounds fun. And then I entered the Zoom meeting, and they're all bald. There's nobody with a wig on. There's nothing. I'm like,
you're like, get rid of it. Throw it off, man. Come on over.
I did. I literally popped the sucker off and threw it. I was like, I want to join. Yes.
I was like waiting for you to do that like right now. Like, pop the sucker off.
I can. No problem.
Oh my God, look at you. That looks amazing.
That's right. This lovely
girlfriend. Look at that. Yeah. That's so cool. You're freaking cool.
Well, thank you. But it's taken me to this point to be able to do this, and it's partially because there is other people out there, and I want them to know this is okay.
Is your heart pounding like right now?
No, actually.
Oh my God, you're just like, I got this.
Get it? It's fine. Yeah, I'm good. I put my pretty earrings on.
I like your earrings. I was gonna say those are very pretty.
That's hearts. Yeah. Dazzled by Paris. She's one of my good friends. Yeah. I'll just shout out.
We'll share,
somewhere.
share.
I love this little pokey dance that we do.
I honestly, I know that this is serious business that we're talking about, but I've always wanted to, and now that I've gotten into my mid 30s, I've heard my 40s are even better. So to be honest, I'm looking forward to 45. I'm looking forward to my 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of water, good skincare. We're gonna get there just fine. But I've been thinking about, I enjoy being irreverent. I do.
Yeah.
um, I enjoy it because it makes people go, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. There's a matrix, you're in it. Let me poke you so that you realize you're in the matrix.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think that this is fun for me. Nobody gets out alive.
No, exactly, right?
So we may as well have a good time. I struggled with depression for years, still do. Um, it's a highly creative challenge, right?
Yep.
And I remember laying on the floor wanting to commit suicide
Oh gosh.
years ago. Yeah. I haven't told that story yet. Wasn't planning to today, but I guess here we go.
I'm glad.
Um, yeah, thank you. And apparently, you. This is the thing. When one woman tells the truth about her life, the world splits open. That's one of the quotes that I'm in love with. And people say, "What do you mean by that?" I used to think it would be like, divorces would happen and things would split apart. And what I've come to realize is that when one person tells the truth about their life, other people feel the freedom to do the same. And
Yeah.
that makes the world split open,
And
right?
that's what I want to do. Because you know what?
I
This is,
like you so much.
I
This
have
is fun.
no, like, I used to not be able to look myself in the mirror
Mhm.
without a wig on and
Yeah.
think anything but,
Yeah.
ooh. And now I look at myself and I'm like, I look pretty good.
I
Yeah.
gotta
I'm
go
shining.
now.
Right.
Oh my gosh. So again, for my listeners, this is the first time I've seen her go like, explosion. Um, and I think one of the reasons why I enjoy not doing a pre-read of the questionnaire that I send out is I want people to know that everybody is just people. Like this
Yeah.
is just, it's a people, life is people. And for so many people, I'm in sales and everybody says, well, I'm scared of what they'll say. What do people say? I'm like, who's they and who are the people? Like this is this is question number one, because most of the people that I've met, I go, oh my God, we're in the same club. Like you just right, you throw off the barriers, and then typically if people have walls around them, there's a reason there are walls around them. And I usually want to figure out why, right? You meet a strong person and you're like, tell me about the mountains you've had to move to get where you are. Because the
Yeah.
only reason you're this kick ass is because you've had your teeth kicked in, right? You've lost your hair. Oh my goodness, girl.
Yeah. It's an intense world out there.
Yeah.
And even writing down my story, I didn't
Mhm.
realize how much I had suppressed the emotions of it because I was writing it down and then I was rereading it to kind of like edit it.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden I just burst out crying and I'm like, okay, where are these tears coming from? Like I thought I had dealt with this and it was
Yeah.
like, ooh, clearly you have not.
Dude, I
So
think that emotional stuff is like, I do a lot of backcountry hiking and I'll like be walking and start crying. And I'm thinking, I don't know what muscle I just started using, or, that I was breathing deep enough that I finally got to work through something. I'm just going to walk and cry. And then you stop
yep.
and you feel so much better. So I agree. There's some crazy stuff that goes on when you start to allow for that healing. Good for you. Good for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. So I don't know. I want to share my story. I want to, let people know it's okay
Mm.
to show your true self because you know what, for the most part, I've got nothing but loving comments or like you go or like
Yeah.
anything like that. So
And frankly, you can block or delete the haters. Let's be real.
exactly.
Just
Delete.
saying. I wrote something for the last edition of the magazine. It was the theme was love, self-love. I just said love. So it can be kindness, it can be whatever. And I wrote about self-love and how the unfollowing or deleting from your life, whether it's a person, place, or thing, is actually an incredible act of self-love. To be able to say, this no longer serves me, right down to, you don't have to tell the person that you were unfollowing them. You can just unfollow them. And when
Yep.
they realize it and they talk to you about it, have integrity to tell them why. Or, you know what, stand in your own integrity and tell them why, but then peace out, like have the courage to do the things that you need to. And that was really because somebody had said something, and I was like, I actually don't agree with you at all in any way, shape, or form. I'm not sure why you're in my world or why you're on my Facebook. So love and blessings, love and blessings.
Yeah.
Really. Like, and I meant it, right? I mean, of course, for me, integrity means I also had to consider what that was bringing up for me, because nothing happens without it being a mirror.
Yep.
So what is this teaching me about myself? And then, by the end of that went, yeah, no, I'm still okay to unfriend this individual and unfollow. And I tell that to people all the time. If you're following along, even if there could be a mentor or there's somebody in your space or in your world, but every time you look at their profile, it gives you anxiety, then peace out. Like, come back later if you need to. There's how many billion people on the planet? It's okay. Go find your tribe.
That's a
And
great message, because you see so much
yeah,
on social media and you're just like if it gives you any type of ill will or like not good feelings, get rid of it, because what's the point? And it's funny that you should say that about the mirror thing, because honestly, before I was willing to share
mm,
or even thought about sharing, I
yeah,
was tense about it the
mm.
first time. But I always said, if you don't like me, get out. But then I don't share my entire self. How can I say
Oh,
that and not share myself, right? Like, big
mm.
mind-blowing moment for me.
That
So,
here too. How? Yeah, no wonder.
yeah.
I, Clearly the lesson of the day. I tell people, I think it's like every single recording of this, I go, you all think I'm doing this because it's fun content, and it is fun content. But most of the time, I think the one who gets the most value from these is me, because I get to sit here and talk and talk with you. Like, honestly, I understand why Oprah continues to do these things. It's not just about doing a show and being a host and hanging out and that. It's the conversation. It's like this, it opens up this portal and you're like,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, that was totally meant for me. You're right. How can we get mad at people for not accepting who we are if we don't tell them who we are? I think too, though, because I often help people with their social media, and because they'll say, well, how do I grow, and how do I get them to write out their story, which is, who you are, where you've come from, why you're doing what you're doing today, where you want to go in your life, just, so people get a snapshot, right, of
Yeah.
who you are. And I say, your friends are not your friends on Facebook. They're more of acquaintances. They're your network, right? And network, I wish it was, and not friends. I wish it was like your network, right? That would make it make way more sense.
Yeah.
I say my friends have my cell phone number, and they get a text message from me.
Exactly.
My network, I adore my network. However, they get a persona. They get a piece of me, because I don't want to put everything out there. I think that there's some element of treasure. That being said, I believe in honesty and transparency, and I have no problem talking about I'm struggled with depression, and sometimes I look at myself in the mirror and I hate myself, and that's okay, right? And other people are like, but this, and I'm like, I know, and I see you because of that.
Yeah.
Wow. So obviously you're now connecting to other groups. Are you looking into getting into speaking? Because if you are, I have a great network group for you to consider joining. Um, what's
Yes, please.
next? What?
Anything. I'm going to
Oh,
take anything that comes at me, because I think that's the universe
girl,
saying,
this is a story that needs to be told. And if you're still watching the video, give us some thumbs up and agree. We're going to have all kinds of contact information for this wonderful woman around here. But what's next for you? Like, I don't even know what you do as a day job, which maybe doesn't
oh,
matter.
I'm
But
actually,
where are you going? What's the plan for
I'm a,
next?
no.
What? Yeah.
Kind of a free for all. No, I actually, my day job is in corporate,
Okay.
and I work as a chemical engineer. So that's what I do. And then I just decided to, yeah, I did 5 years of school and pretty
I
successfully.
like you people because numbers and me, I can balance my checkbook, no problem. But I hang out with engineers and I'm like, oh, that's totally a better system than what I had going on. Right? Creative engineer. So I
Oh, that's,
appreciate respect. Okay, carry on.
yeah. But I do plan on, I wrote that magazine article. So I'm
Yep.
looking at either blogging or writing a book. I don't know. One or the
Both.
other. I'll start with
All
one.
of the above.
Yeah, probably all of the above. Let's be real. And then getting more engaged with the different alopecia communities. There's like Entourage, as well as Naked Confidence campaign, and they're both like growing. And you know, people that are coming in need to talk to somebody, because some of them are 15, 16, just losing their hair, or even like up at 23 losing their hair. And it's just we're building a community, and I think that's something that's very important to me, because again, I don't want people to feel alone in this. And then just sharing my story through Instagram and being my true self. And you know, it's funny because I started the alopecia page as a separate Instagram than my personal one. And then I just recently shared my story on my personal Instagram, because, and that's when my heart was pounding. So
I know, man. I know. And it's funny because I will share more stuff on my Instagram because I know it's mostly like the freebies. But then if I go to my Facebook and I'm like, oh, I can't talk about this over here. Like somebody might see the real me.
I love it.
Oh my word.
It's so scary, the like little steps. But you know, the funny thing is that if it scares you, I think it's a good thing.
I agree. I totally agree. I think it was a Brian Tracy. It might've been a Bob Proctor. I don't know, one of those guys. And they said, if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up way too much room. And, you know, for a long time in my life, I did redline it. And that was a little too close to the edge. However, now I'm walking pretty close and I'm comfortable, where I'm like, okay, I can step out of my comfort zone if I need to. And, oh, that's definitely out of my comfort zone. But at some point, living out of your comfort zone becomes comfortable, which is entertaining too. And then you look back and you go, oh, I did not expect that. Yeah, I've got some people I'd love for you to connect with. You know, a couple people that help to share stories and write stories and get some things rocking and rolling. And I think it's important to make sure that is. And of course, I'd love to have you, like I said, write for what we've got going on, and be part of that community, because that's certainly.
I'm honestly open to it all, because I want to get this story out there too.
So. I have so much fun. People are like, why? And I'm like, because I like talking to people and I like reading their stories.
And I mean, honestly, like I'm super happy in life. I mean, I've had a husband for 16 years and we're happily married. You know, I have my little blind dog over here.
That's awesome.
Last year, but we take care of him as he, you know, maneuvers into bumping into everything. But I also think that going through something like this makes it easier for you to deal with extra things that come at you, right? So I'm pretty sure if I hadn't been through anything, my dog losing his eyesight would have been just devastating, right? Versus I'm a problem solver now, and it's like, okay, what do we got to do to fix this issue?
That's a skill set, man. Like being able to think. Nobody does that anymore. No offense, everybody. I love you all, but sometimes I think common sense, definitely not very common. I mean, I've done some stupid things, right? Oh my word. I'm writing a book. Slowly, I decided to do a magazine, and I actually made a post about it. I meant to write a book, and now I'm editor-in-chief of a magazine. Proof that sometimes life goes, nope, not list. But, you know, and it often intrigues me at, you know, where we end up. Well, that's exciting. 16 years married. Kudos.
Well, like 16 years married. Sorry, we've been together for 16 years. We've been married for 6. So.
Still, kudos. I only made it to 4. So that's like, you know, a vision board goal. Next time. And everybody's like, you can do it again. I'm like, oh yes, absolutely. I need a do-over with my marriage.
Right.
I need to get divorced first, but then I want to do over. I definitely want to do over. We should make a do-over button.
Right?
There's a that's easy button, but we need a do-over button. That's probably like $1 million idea, which so one of us should like do something with that.
I'll work my engineering brain on that.
Oh, perfect. I like this. I think I have a new friend. This is cool.
It's actually quite funny because I need one more picture for this magazine article that's publishing, and it's freezing outside, right? But I want to take it on this cliff as a silhouette. With my wig in my hand, floating in the like distance.
I love it. Do it.
And I'm making my husband go out there, and he's like, "Oh, we'll get the picture all right, but we'll be dead, so you won't be able to upload it." So it's just like,
but you'll be dead, so you won't be able to upload it.
Yeah,
that's brilliant.
Get the picture, but you might freeze to death.
I know. Yeah. It makes me sad when it's this cold outside.
And it won't stop snowing.
I know. I know. For those of you who don't know, we are both in the northern parts of Alberta.
Yep.
Actually, the city that we get to call home, that area is actually, did you know Edmonton is like the biggest city this far north?
Oh, really? No.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's a good thing. But anyway, um, okay. We're definitely at the part of our chat where I say, hey, is there anything that you would like to say?
If you want to follow my story more, you can go to my Instagram, which is at alo.peaches. And that is,
I love it.
it's a
And we'll
play,
have, of course, that down below and all that kind of
yeah,
good stuff.
it's a play on alopecia, but I also get peach fuzz every day because there's little spots.
That's so
And due to
cute.
the wig I wear requires you to suction, I have to shave it. So,
There you go.
yep.
Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Not meant irreverently, legitimately curious. There's those campaigns, right, for women to buy men's razors. Do you use women's or men's razors?
I use men's razors. They are much nicer than the women's razors.
I think something you could do is go onto Amazon and see if you can become like a retailer or, do the Amazon store for like, see if you can find someone who will partner with you for some great
Yeah.
razors.
Yeah, right. I should, because honestly, yeah, I just did a post yesterday that I use Nivea men like shaving gel and a Schick men razor.
That's a fun word, Schick.
Schick. Yeah.
I say this because recently, Inara, that's my kidlet, she and I are working through consonants to start beginning things. So we were doing CH and SH. And so, yeah, Schick is one of those very, very
very hard ones.
Combination of the, yeah. Yes, these are the rules of English, except for when they're not the rules of English, and then we do it this way. Yeah. Why? I don't know, but those are the rules. Just memorize the rules.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, this has been so much fun. I am looking forward to reading and watching your growth. We will make sure that we've got all of the links for this above and below and all that kind of stuff when we edit this and it go live.
Perfect.
And,
Sounds good to me.
Thank
you for having me.
Oh my goodness, this was a hoot. I was very happy. She was early too, by the way, everybody. So it was great. I got on to do my little prep and make sure I liked where the lighting was and anywhere it was.
You get to see my lovely kitchen,
I love your kitchen. Mine's just a backdrop.
I was thinking, I was like, I need a backdrop. We're gonna have to.
I have one that my dad rigged up for me. He's awesome. Everybody
Nice.
love my dad. Talk about him all the time. And it got like stand up. He's like, I didn't realize it needed to be movable. So anyway, so sometimes I have that one, sometimes I have this one, but it's just easier to be able to pop up and rock and roll. Go anyway.
For sure.
Thank you so much for
thank you
this morning, this afternoon, whenever this is. I appreciate. I know. Clearly, we have not been drinking. I promise. We're just having way too much fun.
Only water.
Only water. Yeah, exactly. Mine's down here. I need to get some branded. I'm gonna have some branded ones.
Ooh,
so
yes.
I have an amazing network, so I get some peeps. Yes, I would brand it. Put some stuff on there, man, and then you can, sip it on these kind of calls, and you're good. Yes. Okay. Enough with the irreverence. Anyway, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you
being
too.
Here. And for anybody else who listened, if you got some value out of this, please go like, share, love, comment, subscribe. There'll be buttons all over the screen. I'm sure of that, because it really is the high five. If you got some value and want to reach out to my gal pal, please do reach out and give her a high five or make the connection to somebody who might need to know her and hear her story. And of course, we will update as I get her into the magazine, and perhaps we'll have to have you back on and continue the conversation and see what you're up to in the very near future. So,
I mean, I have 19 years worth of stories, so
I'm sure you do. You definitely have it. Yeah. So, and I want to do a final plug for the Divas That Care Network, who do carry my show on their platforms, and so you can search them and get involved. So, thank you so much, and we'll catch you all on the flip side.